Romania entered World War II with outdated tanks and virtually no armored industry. Yet under the pressure of the Eastern Front, Romanian engineers created some of the most unusual and inventive armored vehicles of the war, including a design that may have inspired the German Hetzer. From captured tanks to home-built prototypes, this video covers Romania's armored vehicles and the fictional machines added later through rumors and imagination. Let's begin with the light tanks. R1, Romanian designation for the Czech Škoda Tankette, with 36 delivered in 1938, featured twin machine guns and thin 5 to 12 mm armor, effective only against small arms. Assigned to cavalry reconnaissance squadrons and saw action until losses depleted them by late 1942. R1, open turret variant. Modified R1 with open top turret for improved visibility and crew comfort. Only a few conversions were made as field modifications. Remained vulnerable to artillery fragments and strafing aircraft. R2, Panzer 35T, Romania's main light tank. 126 Czech Škoda LT VZ-35 tanks, purchased in 1936 to 1939. Armed with 37 mm gun and 35 mm frontal armor, it equipped the 1st Tank Regiment. At Stalingrad, 60% were lost to combat, fuel shortages, and mechanical breakdowns, revealing its inadequacy against T-34s. Renault R-35, French Renault R-35 light tank, with 200 ordered but only 41 delivered before France fell. Another 35 ex-Polish R-35s were captured and integrated. Slow but well armored for 1940, they served in infantry support roles through 1944. Modern R-35, experimental 1943 conversion, mounting a Soviet 45 mm gun in an extended turret. Testing proved the concept viable, leading to production variants. The prototype featured improvised armor plating from scrapped vehicles. Tank Hunter R-35, 30 R-35s, converted in 1945 with Soviet 45 mm guns and extended turrets. The thickly armored French turret was retained, but enlarged to accommodate the new weapon. No room remained for coaxial machine guns, limiting close defense. R-35, 2nd Tank Regiment variant. Experimental modification fielded by the 2nd Tank Regiment, featuring a rebuilt turret and an upgraded gun installation. This variant differed from standard conversions through altered internal layout and trial armament changes. Around 30 modified vehicles were operational by July 1944. Panzerkampfwagen Bulla, rare Romanian conversion mounting the Austrian 47 mm Böhler anti-tank gun on captured R-35 chassis. Only a handful were completed as field expedients. The Böhler gun provided better anti-armor performance than the original 37 mm armament. Medium tanks. Romania possessed no indigenous medium tank designs. All medium tanks were German-supplied Panzer III and IV models. Heavy tanks. Romania neither developed nor operated heavy tanks during World War II. Assault guns and tank destroyers. Mareșal M00, the first Mareșal prototype, built on a captured Soviet T-60 chassis with a 122 mm Putilov-Obukhov howitzer. Completed in July 1943, it featured revolutionary sloped armor in a turtle-shaped profile. Hitler was enthusiastic about the design, seeing potential for mass production to replace German tank deliveries. Mareșal M06, final production variant with refined components and improved reliability. Approximately 1,000 were planned to become the backbone of Romanian armored forces. The Mareșal allegedly inspired the German Hetzer's design, according to Wehrmacht evaluators who attended trials. TACAM T-60, first Romanian tank destroyer, converting 34 captured Soviet T-60 light tanks in 1943. Mounted the Soviet 76.2 mm M 1936 F-22 field gun in a 3-sided fighting compartment with 15 mm armor. All 34 were operational by July 1944 and saw action in the Jassy, Kishinev, and Budapest offensives. TACAM R2, 20 Panzer 35T and R2 chassis converted to tank destroyers in early 1944 with the more powerful 76.2 mm ZIS 3-gun, featured better penetration than the TACAM T-60 and could engage T-34s at 500 to 600 meters. Most were seized by Soviets in August 1944. TACAM R1 project, proposed conversion of R1 tankettes into light tank destroyers. The project never progressed beyond preliminary drawings due to the R1's inadequate chassis. too small to mount meaningful anti-tank guns. Resources were redirected to T-60 and R2 conversions. Prototype T-26 modernization project. Proposed upgrade of captured Soviet T-26 tanks with improved engines and armament, never realized due to the T-26's obsolescence and Romania's inability to maintain complex Soviet vehicles. Tacom R2, 88mm. Conceptual proposal exploring the possibility of mounting an 88mm anti-tank gun on the R2 chassis, intended to improve long-range anti-armor performance and provide stronger bunker-busting capability. The concept never progressed beyond theoretical study, as the R2 chassis was already at its structural limits. Anti-aircraft vehicles, 40M Nimrod. Austrian-built 40mm Bofors SPAAG on modified Toldi chassis, supplied to Romania by Hungary. Romania received a small number for air defense of mechanized columns, featured high rate of fire but inadequate armor protection for frontline use. Armored cars. Autoblinda 41 Malaxa project. Experimental Romanian armored car developed at the Malaxa works. A few prototypes were built, but the project was abandoned due to limited industrial capacity and the availability of foreign vehicles. Autoblindat Russo-Balt. Ancient Russian-built armored cars from the pre-revolutionary era, used in limited numbers for training and ceremonial duties. Mechanically unreliable and militarily obsolete, but maintained for lack of alternatives. Škoda Jelva, Czech-built armored car with distinctive rounded armor. Romania did not officially list it in its army inventories, but several vehicles are reported to have been used in limited roles by police or gendarmerie units. Tatra VZ30, Czechoslovak-designed 6x4 armored car, with Romania possessing a small quantity, featured twin turrets with machine guns, and served primarily in reconnaissance roles. Mechanically robust, but outdated by 1941 standards. German equipment provided to Romania. Panzer III, German Panzer III medium tanks supplied to Romanian armored divisions, primarily J, M, and N variants, with 50mm or short 75mm guns. Equipped the 1st Tank Regiment and saw action throughout the Eastern Front. Panzer IV, Romania's most capable tank, the workhorse Panzer IV, received G, H, and J variants armed with the long 75mm KWK-40 gun. By late 1942, 11 Panzer IVs were delivered to bolster Don River defenses, arriving too late to prevent disaster. PZ-38T, Czech-built light tank used by Germany, with limited numbers transferred to Romania, served primarily in reconnaissance and training roles once German units upgraded to heavier armor. Panzer II, obsolete German light tanks transferred for training and rear area security, used by mechanized units for reconnaissance when better vehicles were unavailable, completely outclassed by 1942, but better than nothing. Panzer I, extremely limited numbers of the tiny training tank used by Romanian rear echelon and training units. Militarily worthless, but employed where no combat was expected. Stugii III, assault guns delivered between November 1943 and August 1944. Most saw action in Moldavia and were later captured by Soviet forces. Wespe, light self-propelled 105mm howitzer on Panzer II chassis. A few supplied for mobile artillery support of mechanized units, more suitable for Romanian logistics than the heavier Hummel. Marder III, Czech 38T-based tank destroyers, mounting various anti-tank guns. Documentary evidence confirms limited use by Romanian units, either as German transfers or battlefield captures. Effective but open-topped, leaving crews exposed. SDKFZ 223, German four-wheeled reconnaissance vehicle with extensive radio equipment. Small numbers provided for mechanized reconnaissance battalions, lightly armored but fast and reliable. SDKFZ 250, light armored personnel carrier on half-track chassis, part of German transfers in 1943 to 1944 to motorize Romanian infantry, carried 6 troops plus crew, and featured reasonable cross-country mobility. Soviet equipment provided to Romania. T-3485, main Romanian tank from 1945 onward, transferred to the Tudor Vladimirescu and Horia, Kloska, and Crisan divisions fighting against Germany. Featured excellent 85mm gun capable of defeating any German armor at reasonable ranges. T-3476, earlier T-34 variant with 76mm gun, provided in smaller numbers. Less capable than the 85, but still superior to most Romanian and German equipment from earlier in the war. T-60, light tanks used primarily for crew training and rear area duties. Ironically, some of these were the same vehicles Romania had captured earlier and converted into TACAM T-60 tank destroyers. Su-76M light assault gun on T-70 chassis with 76.2mm gun. Romania received over 100, using them for infantry support and anti-tank defense. Open-topped, but reliable and easy to maintain. Su-85 medium tank destroyer with 85mm gun on T-34 chassis, used in Romanian post-war armored units for anti-tank missions. Effective against German armor, but lacked the versatility of turreted tanks. Su-100 heavy tank destroyer with powerful 100mm gun, transferred in the late 1940s as Romania rebuilt its armored forces under Soviet influence, remained in service through the early Cold War. Captured Hungarian equipment, 38M Toldi, Hungarian light tank based on the Swedish L-60. Several were captured and briefly used before being replaced by Soviet equipment. Mechanically sound but inadequately armored, and armed for 1944 combat. 40M Turan, Hungarian medium tank with 75mm gun. A few captured examples were pressed into Romanian service during the advance into Hungary, comparable to Panzer IV, but suffered from reliability issues. Fake vehicles. Flak Panzer Mareșal, hypothetical SPAL-G variant of the Mareșal mounting anti-aircraft guns. No archival documentation exists. This is a post-war reconstruction or alternative history concept. While plausible given the Mareșal chassis, no such variant was ever designed. R4 medium tank project. Supposed Romanian medium tank development project. Completely fabricated. Romania never attempted indigenous medium tank design, focusing instead on converting captured vehicles and producing the Mareșal tank destroyer. Mareșal M07, fan-made designation created by enthusiasts based on German suggestions to upgun the Mareșal. This variant never existed. The M07 is speculative fiction, TACAM T-34, fantasy concept of mounting captured guns on T-34 chassis, never documented in Romanian archives. Romania couldn't maintain T-34s until after switching sides in 1944, making this impossible during the Axis period. TACAM T-34E, howitzer variant. Alternative project variant supposedly mounting a howitzer in an armored casemate on a T-34 chassis. Entirely speculative with no historical basis, created as a conceptual Romanian tank destroyer reconstruction for models or illustrative purposes.